fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
So hello and welcome to a new predictions show brought to you by Boxing Social in collaboration with House of Boxing. My name is Hope Ellen, and this week we're going to be discussing the big fight happening this Saturday night in Sheffield. And to help me with that and to tell me his prediction, I'm joined by Maxi Hughes. Maxi, how are you? Thank you for joining me.
I like the Yorkshire accent then. How are you? Yeah,
that wasn't intended.
Yeah, I'm well. I've just dropped. Kids are both at school now, school and nursery, so get a bit of peace, a little bit of peace and quiet now.
When you heading to the gym?
I'm not today. I'll just be doing a bit of running or something because obviously it's fight week now. Not just for Josh, but our other stablemate Reese. He's fighting the day before on the Friday in Sheffield. So, you know, all Sean's attention is travelling to and fro from Sheffield with open workouts. I think Reese has got a press conference.
Yeah.
I've got legs I can run. Got a treadmill in garage. Got lots of fields near me as well. So there's no I can't do here.
Are you going to head to both shows this weekend?
Yeah, I'm booked in. I'm working. So we've also got one of Reese's mates, Jake Smith. He's on the road. He's boxing Samo Mason on Friday night. I think the first fight. You know, we're on his show. So I'm doing the corner for Jake. Then I'll be helping Sean in the corner with Reese. And then on to Saturday night, I'll be helping Sean in corner with Josh. So yeah, big boxing weekend for me.
Yeah, busy weekend for you. So let's pick your brains then. Let's dive straight in. So Leigh Wood defends his WBA World Featherweight title against Josh Warrington in Sheffield this weekend. It's going to be a huge event. Both sides of that arena are going to be screaming for their man. It's a contest that has all the makings of a fight of the year contender. So to begin, fight of the year contender, do you think that's likely?
It could well be, yeah. Obviously, when you look at both the styles and past performances, Josh has got a phenomenal engine and he'll do whatever it takes to win. He likes to throw a lot of shots, and we've seen that side come out of Leigh when he boxed Michael Conlon. Leigh got off to a bad start by getting dropped in first round, and he got hurt a couple of times after, so he were up against it. So he had to dig deep, and that was a. It won't fight a year, did it? That Wood Conlon.
You know, it might have actually. That rings a bell.
It was definitely nominated anyway, wasn't it? So that it's in both men. Both men have got that desire to do what it takes to win. So it could be, but it's how it plays out on night, and what tactics are implemented and all that sort of stuff.
Eddie Hearn has said that he predicts that it won't go past 6 rounds. Do you think that's likely?
I never really predict like rounds, but obviously I'm speaking from a slightly biased point of view because Josh is my mate, and we do like Leigh Wood in our gym. You know, this is not a personal, it's not a grudge match. Both lads. And same with the teams, the trainers, we're very respectful and we get on with one another quite a lot. It is purely business, but I think Josh will do it inside the distance. I don't know what round. If I would say anything, I would probably say later on.
Some people have doubted Leigh Wood's chin. So could a knockout be on the cards?
It could be. Or just an overwhelming, as they say, a systematic breakdown. Beating that fight out of somebody and taking their will, taking their soul.
It's also been said. It's been said that Josh Warrington and Leigh Wood both fight their best when they are the underdog or they're in the away corner. Obviously, this situation, it's Josh who's coming in that situation. So. Does he seem to have more fire in his belly? Is that going to really is that going to help him, do you think?
Absolutely, yeah. He's absolutely on fire. And you look at the way going back a couple of years when he won world title against Lee Selby. Selby was quite the favourite there. And he didn't just there were one judge, I think it was majority, I believe, but one judge were crazy. But yeah, that's the way to win a world title. He just ripped it off him. He really did a job on Selby, and then he headed into his first title defence, a big underdog against Carl Frampton at the time. They were saying Carl can be, he's going on that pound for pound list.
Yeah, Carl was right up here, wasn't he?
Yeah, nobody gave Josh a chance. His back were against wall, and he absolutely he did a number. I remember being over at Jamie Moore's gym. And speaking to Carl about it, and Carl again, he's a great lad, down to earth. He won't tell no lies. He said he just beat me up. No excuses. He just did a number on me, and he beat me up, and he hurt me. And I'm expecting that he's in that mindset. Not that he's never in that mindset for any of us other fights, but he's really got bit between his teeth this time.
There's kind of two ways that people are looking at this. They're looking at it, Josh Warrington has had his glory days, like the Carl Frampton fight, and that now he's on the decline. And then there's the old other side of it where, and I think Josh has actually said this, that Leigh has had some success, but only recently. He's not got a back catalogue like Josh has. What's your opinion on both those statements?
Yeah, Josh's rise, obviously, he were undefeated up until 2021. Yeah, Josh's rise. I started sparring Josh, got to know Josh 10 years ago when he just defended his English and he got his opportunity as the underdog and the away fighter against Samir Monroe. Nobody expected him to do that, and from then on he's just been on this trajectory, and he's at that level. And like you say, Lee's successes came later on in his career. But yeah, for people to say Josh is on decline, I don't know where they're looking at that. I know the fight didn't go his way in December against Lopez, but I were in corner then, and I thought he'd done it. I know he started slow, but he finished that fight very strong, and that's what Josh was about. Sean were telling me in corner, look, you've got to grit your teeth now and start. And he were doing everything he were being asked, and it were a good performance. It were a good fight, and for people, I thought it were hard done by personally, and for it not to go his way, but people to say, oh yeah, he lost, he's on decline. Look at the way he finished that fight and how strong he finished, and look at his other fight last year against Kiko. People again were writing him off because 2021 was the two Lara fights. One ended in defeat, one ended in, it didn't really get going. But Josh's mindset for that will bang up there. And then, again, people wrote him off in 2021. Kiko gets in and he does an absolute number on Kiko. He had his jaw broke in that fight and he bit down harder and fought harder. This is what it baffles me when people say he's on decline, and you go look at the fights that he's involved in, look how he performs in them, and he'll do what's necessary to win. So yeah, it's a bit annoying. I get annoyed when people say he's on decline because he's clearly not.
Josh Warrington versus Kiko Martinez was the first fight night I ever went to.
Warrington.
Yeah, and I mean, what an introduction into boxing.
You're getting stronger and stronger.
Time flies. So it's also been said that Josh is, and I'm sure you're going to get defensive again here, is struggling more to make the weight. That's been reported. From an insider's perspective, is that all just talk? Is there any truth in that?
No truth at all. He's been a featherweight his entire career. In the early days, you see, he's obviously as you get older, your body develops, and the work that he puts in with his strength coach, Andrew Langford, again, that's people's opinion on the outside looking in. So yeah, he's 100% not struggling at weight. He is, I look up to him because he's an ultimate professional. Even though when he's out of camp, he still maintains. I've never seen a bloke drink water like Josh does. He won't drink tap water. Wherever he goes, he's got his own water, and he always has it with him. So he's always drinking his water. He always eats pretty good. Like even when he come out to do corner on my fight, he had a couple of treats, but majority of it, he eats well, and he always trains. He's always like, he didn't have to train that week that I were there fighting, but he's like, oh, where can I go and do something? I come down for breakfast one morning. He's like, so how are you? How are you? So yeah, I've already been out and done my sprints this morning. So for people to say that, it's just an opinion. People might say, "Oh, Maxi, you're just lying. You're just covering for him because you're part of the team." But I'm honestly not. I've known him a long time and know how he does weight. So yeah, that's not an issue.
So moving over to Leigh Wood, then he's obviously under Ben Davison. There's quite a trajectory, if I said that properly, going on with his career at the moment. If he doesn't win this fight, what do you think happens for Leigh next?
Again, Eddie's the biggest culprit of this. Oh, it's a must-win for both guys. It's probably the end of the road for the loser. But I hate that saying, and I hate that pressure because it's down to the fighter. It's how much the fighter wants it. Let's say Leigh doesn't win. He goes back to the drawing board and says, if he's still got that fire, he says, I'm coming back. I've said it. I've had it said about myself after the losses. I've had, particularly to Liam Walsh, 2019. It's like, oh, is that the end of the road? That's your fifth loss now for in a domestic fight. I was going to get there, but I was the one who decided if it's the end of the road or not. And I decided it wasn't the end of the road. And look what I went on to achieve since then. So every fighter's destiny is in their own hands. It's about how much they want it and how much they're willing to continue and go forward. So, yeah, that's what my opinion is on that. Take no notice of what any promoter says, oh, it's the end of the line. So it's not, because you look back a couple of years with the likes of Ricky Burns. Oh, it's the end of the road. You think he lost to I don't know if he lost to Crawler or Selby first, but again, it was like, oh, it's the end of the road. And then he went on and then he fought in another one. Oh, it's the end of the road. It's, and he fought over a week, didn't he? Did old Burns and Willie Lemon. So, yeah, the only person who decides if it's the end of the road is the fighter.
I think that's a really healthy attitude to have. Because often it is seen that the promoters have all the control and hold all the cards. It's quite a refreshing way to hear a boxer speak. So in conclusion then, Maxi, give me your full prediction breakdown.
So we'll both get it ring. Get introduced. First bell will go. Maybe at first they might just have a little look, slowly work into it. Or they could be thinking, right, I'm going straight at it. But obviously, again, sorry to say, I'm from a biased point of view. I think Josh will go out. He'll surprise Leigh. I think he'll definitely surprise Leigh with how hard he hits. And I think from then, obviously, Leigh's not going to come and lie down. If it gets tough in there, we've seen Leigh, dig in and dig his heels in and fight back. But I can only see the fight going one way, and that's Josh's way. He'll slowly start getting on top, and I'll predict a later stoppage, between maybe 8 and 12 for our man. Yeah, that's the way I see it going.
So you heard it here first. Maxi thinks it'll be a late stoppage. Josh Warrington will win in rounds 8 to 12. Make sure that you head over to houseofboxing.com to place your predictions for Saturday night's big Matchroom fight night, and make sure you tune in to see Leigh Wood and Josh Warrington. And of course, Maxi Hughes will be in the corner for Josh. Thank you, Maxi.
Cheers.